Well, blessed Thursday to you as we come with your daily encouragement. As weather forecasters are saying, it's supposed to be snow today. We'll see how it all turns out, and we'll keep you posted on what our plans are for the weekend. But we are anticipating, of course, Palm Sunday, and will be a lot of songs and a lot of hymns. And look at this part of Revelation 22, verse 3. It is written in psalmic form, hymn form. There's a rhyming pattern. It's to clue you in that this was not just stated, this was a song that was sung. So let's look at what the song says. I heard a voice from heaven, from the throne. Not just heaven, but from the throne where God is seated, where Jesus is seated at the right hand of God. And it says, see, the home of God is among mortals. Now, there's other translations that says the tabernacle or the tabernacle of God is among people, is among men, is among humanity. Now, let's just look at that for a minute. Where is God? Where is God supposed to be? No, I remember saying my prayers, and it was the whole idea that you're down here and you look up into heaven, and that's where God is. And to some extent, there's some biblical basis for that, with Jesus ascending to the Father. The whole idea that he's the Lord of heaven and earth. But the key thing in Jesus Christ is he's not just the Lord of heaven far away, he's the Lord of earth right next to us. And it isn't that God is just limited to churches or other places. I always like to compare the thing, God can be anywhere. God can be in the lowest of the low places, like the side streets of Minneapolis or some other big city. Could be in a bar. Could be anywhere. But in church, that's where we have a place where we know we can meet God. Where God says, where two or three are gathered in my name, there's clues of where God can be found, especially among people reading the Word, studying the Word, worshiping. That's where we can sense God's presence. God still is with us everywhere, but it is in those places where, if we talk about apocalypse, the curtain's been lifted and we can be in the presence of God and know God is here. But here it's stating that that reality is going to be ever present. There's not going to be a place that's going to be considered sacred or secular, holy and not holy, like we talk about here on earth. In fact, that is probably the misnomer we have. We think that there are places that God can't be. Maybe that scares us because we want to do things where not only other people are not watching, but especially God is not watching. God sees it all. And here it says, see, the home of God is among mortals, is among people, is among those of us who are human, who have been created in the image of God. See, this is some exciting stuff that's going on here. See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them. He will live with them. Now that goes back to the tabernacle. That was where the Ark of the Covenant was in the ancient Israel, and you had to watch that you didn't mess with it too much. There was an outer court, and there was a Holy of Holies. But here's the scary thing, if you look at it from a New Testament perspective, that veil has been ripped apart. If you're interested in some contemporary Christian music, one of my favorite songs, it's a rock song, it's by Petra, and it's called Enter In. And it specifically talks about how when Jesus died on the cross, the veil has been ripped into two, and we can enter in to that Holy of Holies. But here in the new heaven and the new earth, there's no distinction between secular and sacred. And here's the good news, sin has been wiped away. We can live that perfect life that maybe at times we desire. Like St. Augustine, famous theologian, used to say, make me perfect, Lord, just not yet. I want to enjoy myself for a while. You know, but here we can enter in because God is dwelling with us. God is dwelling among the people, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them. Now, some ask, is this the church? Is this Israel? And guess what? It's yes. It's even the people that are not church and not Israel, because all those distinctions have been taken away. The judgment has already taken place. And so this is all the people that are going to be heaven bound, all the people together. There's no distinction. We'll have our characteristics, yes. This is not whitewashing everybody into looking like the same people. No, we'll be our distinctive selves. I don't know what all that will mean. You don't know all that means. But we will be God's people. And there will be no going to church, because church will be wherever we're at, because church is not a necessity anymore, because what? God's dwelling with everybody. And should I say, the knowledge of God is dwelling with everybody. Because God is everywhere, but in church is where we know we can see him. But now all those distinctions are gone. God is dwelling with us. And he will wipe away every tear from their eye. We're going to go to verse 4. And death, where's death? Will be no more. Our cemeteries were, guess what? The ancient church used to worship. They'd worship there not because they're celebrating death, because they're celebrating the one who conquers death. And now that has been conquered. There's no need for land for cemeteries. A lot of area for people to live, but take that up with the new council, city council of the new heaven and the new earth and the new Jerusalem. You don't have to worry about that, because God will have a place for us. No more tears in their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning, crying, and pain will be no more. We'll be healthy. Guess what? I know we make a lot of investments in this, especially in our area. No hospitals. No worrying about whether there's a hospital in our area or not, or doctor's office, because we're all going to be healthy. No cemetery, no hospital needs or sickness. For the first things, and that's what we're talking about, the first things of this earth have passed away. In fact, if there's death, the first things are dead. We have the word passed away, they're gone. And that is the joyous vision that we are given here. What good news! You see, this section is incredible. Just if we sit down and look at the vision that is being presented here, because it's greater than anything that could be painted, anything that could be sung. This is a song of praise. God's here. Now, we can say that now God's here, but sin, our mortal bodies, everything, make it so we have trouble seeing those things. But thank God, there is a new heaven and a new earth. And the old heaven and the old earth have passed away, and the city of Jerusalem is coming down like a bride prepared for her husband, and God will dwell with the people. No more looking up at heaven. We'll all be in the same place. God bless you today. We trust that these continue to be words of encouragement. Take care. God bless. We'll see you next time.